As a big Garfield enthusiast myself, it was a matter of time before this day came, the day I watched both the original Garfield movies. In 2004, Bill Murray was held at gunpoint and had to star as the world famous orange lasagna loving cat, but it was an amazing casting. I truly don't think that there is any living actor that looks more like Garfield than Bill Murray, except maybe Nick Offerman. We start the first movie with Garfield opening his eyes and spouting out the iconic line,
"I hate Mondays."
"Yes, baby!" I was already satisfied by this point. I got what I wanted. Garfield then wakes up John in the most loving manner and steals his food. And also milk from the neighbors because he's just so insatiable.
Got milk?
After this he watches some TV and we get introduced to the antagonist, who is this bald, burned out Billy Mays type for cat food, who ironically has a cat allergy. John forces Garfield to go to the vet, even though he's very fit, as you can see. This is because he has a crush on the vet Liz, and wishes to get close to her through these means. Which, I mean, must not be the most economically friendly option, considering that a vet appointment costs heaps. At the vet he accidentally adopts a dog, whose name is Odie. And this dog immediately sparks jealousy in Garfield, and he will not let this slide. Garfield busts his nuts, scratches Odie, kicks Odie, and basically tries to murder him.
He needs some.
And of course this ends in an epic dance battle.
Make it drop, that's some wet, that's some when I get.
John then brings Odie to a park on a date with Liz to go to a dog competition. Garfield jumps on the back of the truck and causes mayhem at the venue. After all the other dogs go bananas and Odie does a cute little dance, everyone goes nuts and they give him the winner's prize. Now John likes Odie even more, so Garfield gets even more upset. So to fix this glaring issue, he attempts to reclaim his love by being more affectionate and less of a slob. No, of course not, he casually breaks down his house. And he gets put outside for the night, but he tricks Odie into opening the door for him, and after which he locks Odie out and Odie runs after a mailman and gets lost. Meanwhile, the guy from the commercial talks about wanting a dog that he saw at the award show. After this he conveniently found a dog found poster, and very conveniently as well, it is exactly the dog that he wanted. So he picks the dog up at this sweet old lady's house. Garfield then sees Odie on TV with the commercial guy and goes to save him because he now feels bad for his deeds, I guess. Oh no, it is because this situation is hurting John, and he thinks that he is the only one allowed to hurt John. Garfield then goes to the big city accompanied by a mouse, please just don't question it, and Odie gets a shock collar that makes him able to do sick backflips. After getting into the building, Garfield falls out of a 12-story window into a lasagna truck and somehow fucking lives. Garfield then goes to the train station, where Odie and the commercial guy are taking the train to New York to attend the morning show, but Garfield just disrupts the entire train system, miraculously without any head-on collisions, and saves Odie after almost killing him. They have a hug, the bald guy gets shocked, does a backflip, gets mauled to death by some dogs and punched in the face by John, who is now dating Liz. Yippee! Then Garfield 2, A Tale of Two Kitties.
Also went to the video store and got Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties.
This movie's main premise is that there are two Garfields that look exactly identical. The one that we know and the Prince of a Castle who lives in Great Britain and has this very fun accent.
Ah, lovely.
Also, John wants to propose to Liz and he wants to make this as special as possible for her. But she is off to a castle in London for a veterinary
Tomato
That's a
paste.
big word for Elmo.
Veterinary
conference or something. I don't really remember. Could this conveniently be the same castle as Garfield's doppelganger lives? Let's find out. John decides to go there as well to surprise her, and he books a hotel and drops Odie and Garfield off at the animal shelter. From this they escape and they just sneak into his luggage to come to London with them.
Water. Lasagna.
The story in the castle is as follows. The old lady of the castle has unfortunately passed away, and this lady loved animals, like a creepy amount. The whole castle is engulfed with them, and she has one heir, which is this guy, who is the antagonist of this film, because the old lady has decided to leave her fortune to her cat, until the cat passes away. Naturally, he decides to throw the cat into the river. The butler of the castle immediately goes looking for him and then finds another orange cat in London, which is our Garfield. And he immediately assumes it is the royal cat and just takes him without any second thought, which is kind of weird. And so Garfield goes to the castle. and Odie then finds the prince. And these two are found by John, who then takes them back to their hotel room. Garfield then goofs around in the castle and all the other animals that live there hate him because he's inconsiderate and awful to them. The antagonist then finds him and opts to stab him, which seems to like a bit of overkill for a cat. But on the other hand, it is London, that is just how they do things over there. This murder attempt failed, and so he chooses to condition the castle's dog to kill Garfield. But this also doesn't work, and the dog just ends up biting him in the balls like 5 to 8 times in the duration of the movie. Garfield then makes lasagna with the animals while a Black Eyed Peas song is playing, which is a bit random. But sure, we need to fill the movie's runtime. On the other hand, Prince is struggling to replicate Garfield's boring lifestyle.
May I have some more?
Cutting some filler, the cats finally run into each other and they have a dance-off, which ironically enough is a big part of this movie series. The villain then gets tortured by the animals, just like in the first movie. But this guy ends in a standoff where he holds Liz hostage. But luckily Odie comes in clutch and bites him in the dick. Blimey, that must be a jolly good breaky sausage, you old chap. John then punches him into the face and decides that this is the perfect moment to propose to Liz after she just had a crossbow to her head. Luckily she says yes, and Garfield and the prince switch back and everyone lives happily ever after. These movies are very faithful to the source material, and I must say that the writers knocked it out of the park in that regard. Bill Murray also did a fantastic job, even though he would definitely not do this again in hindsight. And these movies are surely not terrible, at most bland, and at least pretty enjoyable kids movies. And I must say that I can't wait for this new Garfield movie where he is voiced by Chris Pratt. I will be reviewing this next week, so please subscribe.